All righty, we're going to go ahead and begin today's presentation. Now to start, I've prepared a really short PowerPoint presentation. I promise you it's only it's 6 slides here, so just kind of want to set the agenda before we jump into the specifics on InkSoft. So again, today our product presentation is on InkSoft, which is an online e-commerce solution made for imprinters by folks that actually understand the imprinting process, and you'll get some examples of that as we progress. So really, here's my agenda as your presenter today. I really want to start by sharing the business opportunity, because as any business owner needs to be aware of the business opportunity before they can make a good decision. So we're going to start by talking about the strategy and sort of the business opportunity that this new technology represents. Next, we're going to showcase InkSoft, and we're going to kind of take it from the end user perspective. What happens when an end user or a shopper gets to an InkSoft powered website? And lastly, we're going to share the InkSoft backend. That's how you'll manage your web business. So those are the tools that you'll have access to once you log into InkSoft that allows you to control your website. So moving along here, a really good question I think all business owners need to be obsessed with asking is, how do we run our business? What's important today? What's important in the future? And bear with me here. I put this together really quickly, so I couldn't find the right image, but I think this image speaks volumes. And I would say if I asked a room full of 100 small business owners or even large business owners, how do you run your business? What do you use to make decisions? And I think overwhelmingly people would respond, well, we look at the numbers, we look at the math, we look at things like ROI, return on investment, return on marketing. So people look at the numbers to really help guide business decisions. And I think that's an important thing. So what we're going to do before we start talking about the business strategy is we are going to talk about the numbers. So to begin, and I've found varying statistics here. It ranged from 85 to 89%, but I'm going to hang my hat on 86%, which was reported by Nielsen ratings. And Nielsen does they rate viewer attendance for television shows, which helps advertisers know how to pay properly. So 86% of consumers use search engines / the internet to find local businesses. So a vast majority of your potential clients are using things like Google and Bing and Yahoo search to find a local company. Now, an overwhelming percentage of consumers, I think it was 82% was a statistic I read, showed that consumers use search engines on the internet and business websites and content on the internet to do research prior to making a decision. So even those people that aren't buying online, they're still using the internet to find potential options and sources for products, and they're doing product research using the internet. Now, in terms of e-commerce sales, they are growing, and they have grown every single year. It's just a continuous growth curve. And in 2010, e-commerce sales grew at 12.7%. So that's a tremendous amount of growth. And it's expected to double by year 2014. So a tremendous amount of volume and activity that's occurring online. And why is that the case? Why are more and more consumers choosing to spend online? Well, 3 major functions that are probably most agreed upon are lower prices. Typically, e-commerce and e-tailers offer discounts and lower prices because they don't have nearly the same overhead that they would in a retail setting. They don't have to pay commissions typically to salespeople. They don't have to pay placement and as much advertisements to drive traffic to a traditional brick and mortar store. So they can then offer lower price points to consumers. Secondly, it's convenient. I mean, anybody can shop anytime, typically anywhere, including from mobile devices now. And I should point out one statistic I failed to put on here is mobile searches. Folks searching from mobile devices has gone up 500% in the past year. So, more and more people are gravitating to smartphones and devices that, are high speed, highly functional. So micropayments and mobile site searches are off the charts in terms of growth. So convenience, people can search from a smartphone while standing in a line to get their coffee in the morning. So e-commerce is extremely convenient to shoppers because we're all connected. Now, lastly is selection. Typically if I'm looking for a product, I can look at different vendors, I can compare price points, and that's a highly convenient way for me to shop. And so selection is a really big function of what's driving e-commerce sales. Next, in terms of the numbers, I found this to be a really interesting factoid as represented by Ink.com. And Ink.com, they rank the top 500 and the top 5,000 privately held companies in America. They also produce a great, website, a great blog, a great, magazine. Now, Ink.com suggested that e-commerce, together with e-tailing, which is kind of a play on words. You have retailing and then e-tailing. Together, those two will be the top third performing industry of 2011. So major growth, again, expected as e-commerce sales will double by 2014. So a tremendous amount of growth. And a lot of big companies want to get in position because by 2014, every sales channel will certainly be saturated. So a lot of companies are struggling to really get to that position. Now, I want to share with you something that's industry specific, something that we can connect with in terms of the numbers. $250 million, which is $250 million. And that's what Custom Ink, Zazzle, and Cafe Press sold together in 2009. Those are separate companies, but together, their sales volume added together was $250 million. Their average order was $77. So Custom Ink, Zazzle, and Cafe Press are three big companies in our industry that are advertising in your local Yellow Pages, and these are online, companies offering online customization and personalization. So that's kind of a shocking statistic, and that's reported by Internet Retailer, which is a company that tracks the top 500 retailers in the country, and Amazon being the top dog. They're the number one retailer or e-tailer, e-commerce company in North America, and Cafe Press and Custom Ink are in the top 200, and Zazzle is 211. So major players in the e-tailing e-commerce world in our industry. Now, I put, okay, I get it. I get the statistics. I get that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity available online and through selling online. And one thing I like to kind of conclude this with is imagine that the future success of your business depends on you becoming an expert in online marketing and doing that before your competition does. So again, 86% of consumers are finding small businesses using search engines. 82% are researching products and businesses before making a local purchase. So you imagine the future success of your business relying on your ability to become very good at online marketing. And let's break that down into a formula for those of you that are really math/number people. Again, we're running our business by the numbers. So here's a little formula. Search engine optimization plus search engine marketing equals money. And we're going to share some examples of that as we progress through our presentation today. All right, let's get out of our nerdy PowerPoint presentation, shall we? And let's jump into the crux of this. Now, before we do that, I want to point out, here's customink.com. Who has received a print off from one of their clients with a graphic that somebody generated from Custom Ink? Well, overwhelmingly, we continue to hear this. I'm sick and tired of my clients going online, designing, and then bringing me a piece of paper and expecting me to be a world-class genius. Recall, 86% of consumers are using the internet to find local businesses, 82% are using the internet to research products. And an end user might go to Custom Ink because they advertise so heavily, they might design something, and they're going to print it off and bring it to you because they want to conduct business locally. Now here we have Zazzle, which offers online decoration services. And I'm going to play a little video for you, and this really sets the stage well for this particular, sort of selling strategy. And Zazzle has made a masterful video, and it's masterful from their perspective and maybe from an end user or a shopper, but they really poke holes at imprinters. And I'm going to share that video with you here in a second because I think it's really important. And here we have Cafe Press. So these are those three organizations together. $250 million in 2009, and that was the latest, greatest statistics that I could find. But let me share that video that Zazzle has made available. This will freak you out. This is pretty funny. So let me play this now for you, and hopefully you can hear this properly. I'll move my microphone by my speakers.
That one karate team you're a part of. Or that reunion
Let's start it from the beginning.
Everyone loves to have group t-shirts made. You know, for that one karate team you're a part of, or that reunion that's coming up, or your business logo. And you know that if your band had t-shirts, they would sell like hotcakes. But have you ever tried to get a bunch of t-shirts made? It's complicated. First, you gotta find some out-of-the-way place that screen prints tees. They'll look at your design and say, this may work, but you see, screen printing's a magical process where we do mysterious things with screens. Now you're working with a designer who's talking about CMYK and DPI and stuff. You're ping-ponging designs back and forth, trying to get it just right, which is really time-intensive and expensive. If you want to have an assortment of colors and types of t-shirts, you're limited to what they have on hand. And if you want a rush order, yeah, good luck with that. It's expensive and painful, but what choice do you really have other than make them yourself? Or tell everyone, sorry guys, no t-shirts this year. Yeah, screen printing has always sucked, until now. You see, over at Zazzle, they locked a team of designers and engineers in a room, fed them only caffeine, and asked them to create a revolutionary new high-tech way to make screen printing really easy and affordable. To our surprise, they figured it out. So here's what you do. You take that simple or fancy design of yours and upload it into their online tool. You'll immediately see exactly what it's going to look like when it prints. And then you can play around with how many colors you might want, if you want to adjust those. And hey, since this is so dang easy, why don't you just pick and choose all the styles, colors, and sizes to your heart's content? I mean, seriously, you're at home in your boxers, and in less than a minute, you've got your final design, your final price, and you didn't have to wait around and deal with these guys. Get it delivered to your door in 3 to 5 business days. I mean, you gotta understand that in the screen printing world, Zazzle has long been the trusted place for quality, on-demand, digital one-off tees and embroidery. And now it's the trusted place to get shirts for your group. It's all thanks to the revolutionary new service that just might be alien technology from the future. We can't say for sure. Find it at Zazzle.com.
All right, that's one of my favorite videos to share with people because A, it's well produced and it's funny. But again, these are big companies that are using online e-tailing, e-commerce, search engine marketing to really drive, action to their business. And at some point, this is going to start to impact your business. Think of, for every time somebody brings you a print off from Custom Ink and expects you to reproduce it, think how many opportunities you might lose, that you might not be aware of. So let's talk about a technology, which is InkSoft, which is, again, the main purpose of today's presentation. InkSoft is a brand new, best-in-breed online t-shirt design technology that has been made by people to understand printing for those that do printing. So knowing things like screen print pricing and the ability to charge for each color that's in the design, knowing that that's important, knowing that vector content is important, those things have been considered when InkSoft was developed. So let's talk about from the end user perspective, and you'll learn more about InkSoft as we go through this process here. But let's do this. How would an end user interact with an InkSoft powered website? So when they go to the website, what course of action do they take? Well, in our industry, in our business, graphics are the number one sort of bottleneck, source of frustration, headache, yet it can be the greatest source of opportunity or potential. So when your clients come to you, they're coming to you to put artwork on stuff, personalized content on stuff. So InkSoft primarily is a tool to make that process streamlined and easy. So let me start with this. This is a website that you can obviously customize to your company. So you can upload your logo, and as you saw in Zazzle, you see they have these large rotating images. I don't think Custom Ink has this. Oh, they do. These large rotating images that they use for advertisements, preparing for St. Patrick's Day. So InkSoft takes advantage of that same sort of strategy, these rotating banner ads that display on your InkSoft powered web store. Now, this is certainly a sort of best practice as it relates to web design. When somebody goes to a website, you have 8 seconds, and most designers would probably say it's more like 4 to 5. Now, if somebody goes to your website and they can't tell what the heck to do or what you offer or what action to take, they're likely to leave and go on to the next one that they found in this Google search results. So with that said, this is an important real estate to really get people to take action. So doing things like promoting special opportunities, discounts, promotions, any kind of messaging that's important to you and your business. So maybe your strategy is to get people to call you to get a custom quote, or to call you, to learn more about your services, whatever it may be. Very, very important marketing real estate that you can control. So you can easily open up Corel or Illustrator. You can lay out a quick design and upload it, and that's going to be your online sort of banner advertisement that you can use in your websites. So in terms of the navigation here, your clients can start with the design, they can start with the product, or they can create their own. That's really the three sort of workflows that you'll find from Custom Ink, from Zazzle. That's the proper workflow. So let's say somebody gets to your website, they don't have a design, they don't even know what product they want. They just know they need to promote their event or their organization or whatever it may be. So they can choose a design. They can start with the design, or they can click on designs from the main tab here. They can also click on a featured design. You can control what designs display here. In relation, you can control what products are featured. So a great way to, again, to really promote certain artwork or promote certain products. You get this real estate to do that as well. So let's click designs. I want to share this as the first major benefit and feature of InkSoft is the fact that this comes loaded with so much professional art content. Now, clip art is one thing, but professional design templates are an entirely different story. So your clients can go to your website and they can choose a design template or a theme, and they have the ability to customize or personalize that theme. So if you give somebody a professional starting point, they have the opportunity to then personalize that to their organization or their event. So most people aren't creative, and they can't take a piece of clip art and add text to it, make it look nice, like you're forced to do in Zazzle and in the Custom Ink product. So here, if I click clip art, you'll see all of the clip art that's available. Now, if I click mascots, you would see all of the subcategories. Now, the beauty of this is all of this content is keyword searchable. So I can type in things like soccer or baseball or bears, whatever the search may be. I can type in and click search, and InkSoft will return all of the design templates and all of the clip art that is related to my search. Now, there's about 1,700 design templates in every category you could conceive of. There's also about 4,000 pieces of clip art, and about 98% of this content is vector. And you do have the ability to automatically filter out the digital content if you don't have digital printing capabilities. Now, you can see a lot of this content is made available in black and white and, of course, color. And it can be dynamically recolored in the InkSoft Design Studio. Okay, so as a quick recap here, InkSoft is a website, first and foremost. It's not just a design tool that you'll have to place inside of your existing website. It's a complete tool, and you can choose which way you're going to use it. Just the design component, which can be embedded into an existing website. In fact, let me give you an example of that. So let's go open up a page here to really share how the InkSoft Design Studio can interact in an existing website. So here's the InkSoft website, and you can see now the t-shirt design component or the Design Studio now loads right in an existing website. And it looks seamless, and of course you can color the background to make it match your web identity. And again, the clients can completely and uniquely interact in the design tool. Now, for those of you that don't have a website, maybe you don't have a good website, maybe it's time to update and enhance your web presence, you can embrace InkSoft as it was intended to use it as a complete website. Now, there's a lot of value and benefits in that in terms of search engine optimization and search engine marketing, and we'll talk about that as we progress to the sort of part 2, which is looking in the back end of the technology. So additionally, as a recap, we have the ability to access all this graphic content, or our end users can access it by keyword or looking through the different categories. And let me share with you the next sort of workflow here. Let's say that somebody chooses a design template or theme and they make the selection. What they can do at the next stage is they have the opportunity to then customize this, which will bring them right into the InkSoft Design Studio, where they can, as the big button implies, they can customize this particular theme. Now, they can also do things like this, working top to bottom. They can share this with their social network. So who has heard of Facebook and Twitter and MySpace and StumbleUpon? I mean, these are major entities that will help grow your business virtually, organically, and virally. So if I'm a shopper at one of these InkSoft powered stores, I have the opportunity to click something like Facebook or Twitter, and that's going to give me the opportunity to automatically tweet this specific product or page. And here we're signed in as Ryanet, so I can go ahead and change the message here. I can say, check out this really cool graphic. In fact, I'll do that now so you can go back and look at our Twitter page and you can see that. And I can then tweet that specific message right to my audience. So if I'm a high school student and I have 300 friends on my Facebook page, I can share this link right back to this product with my social networks. So excellent way to get people to click to your website. More traffic, more eyeballs looking at your stuff is, of course, the name of the game with search engine marketing. Now, the client also has the ability to generate a quote. So let's click Get a Quote. And what I can do at this stage is the system will prompt them to place the product, to choose a product to place the design on. So let's say that I'm interested in getting, my graphic on a koozie. So I can go ahead and select that specific product, and then I can enter in the quantity. Let's say I want, 3 of these, and I can say Get Instant Quote Now. And the system, of course, is going to return the pricing for this particular product. So at the same time, a client has the ability to request more info. So InkSoft is much more than just about getting online orders. That's great when that happens, but it's also about generating buzz and chatter and leads. So to get somebody requesting information, giving you the opportunity to follow up with a personalized phone call is a big deal, because guess what? The folks at Custom Ink and Zazzle and Cafe Press, they're not doing that. So again, a great way to generate leads from the system. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back in time here. I'm just going to click the back button. We'll return to where we had our graphics selected, and that was the quick quote function. Now again, the client has the opportunity to customize this theme immediately, or they can choose a product to place the design on, very similar to the quick quote function. So let's say that I'm shopping for hooded sweatshirts. So what I can do now is, now that I found a design, I can click hooded sweatshirts, and what InkSoft will do is it's going to populate that graphic on all these hooded sweatshirts. So your end users can get a really good sense of what this is going to look like, how it's going to impact the product that they choose. And of course, it shows a high to low pricing. So what the client can do at this stage is now click the product that is suitable to their preferences. They can do things like dial in the colors. Maybe their school colors are gold or whatever it may be. They can choose the product color that's suitable. Now is the sizzle part of this presentation. This is where we're going to bring it all together. Remember, the imprinting industry is all about personalization and decoration. And so InkSoft in the Design Studio combines that process. Product plus graphic plus the ability to personalize and decorate live in real time on the fly. So now here we have the design we selected, the product we selected. Now I have the opportunity to zoom in and concentrate on personalizing and crafting my design. So notice this, if I click on any part of the design, I have the ability to customize it. So if I want to customize, say, the background colors, and let's say that we want to change this to, say red, I can go and dynamically recolor this. Same with the clip art. I'm going to recolor the Trojan mascot helmet to red. And instead of this shade of yellow, maybe we want that, gray. I can completely and dynamically recolor this theme and this design. So you can see how I've just colored the clip art in the background. Now I can customize the text. So let's say that we're the champs, state champs, or whatever it may be, or Arizona champs, or Arizona Trojans, whatever it may be. We can type in the text, and you see how that automatically transforms that particular text. And we'll go ahead and type in Trojans and add more text. Now, what the client has the opportunity to do is do things like change the spacing or the size of this particular design element. They can change the color, so maybe we want to make this black. Maybe they want to completely and dynamically change where this is placed. So they can do things like adjust the curve. So if I want to put this above the Trojan mascot and give that a specific curve, you see how the client would have the full and complete controls to do things like spacing, curvature, to really craft their design and position it, however they want. So I'm going to move this text to the top. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Now you can see we're operating in an imprintable area here. So you can see that the client can't design outside of that area. It bounces them right back to the middle. So you get to decide what area is appropriate for the client to decorate and design. So I can do things like delete. Maybe I don't want this bottom portion, so I can cut that. Maybe I made a mistake, or I want to change the text. As you can see, all of the function is available in the Design Studio. And there's a lot of key advantages to this particular Design Studio because it's so robust and so complete. There's so many controls and options for clients to really customize the way their theme will look. including things like this, doing distressed vintage overlays. I mean, every retailer for the past 3 years has been selling these vintage weathered distressed effects, and now you can offer those interactively right inside of the InkSoft Design Studio to allow your clients to get that premium retail look. Now, some of the other key benefits to the Design Studio is all of the graphic content, all of the clip art, everything is keyword searchable. So if I make change my mind, I want to search for different content, I have the ability to click on a category or keyword search, and I could substitute the design theme and start all over. Same is true of products. Let's say that the client decided, you know what, rather than a hooded sweatshirt, I want, a t-shirt, so the client can go in here and dynamically change, the style of garment or the product by making the selection live on screen. And you'll see how that updates now in real time. So that, again, is the workflow in the Design Studio. Your clients have the ability to upload their content both in vector and digital. They can add notes, they could email you, they could save their content, which is really important. Now notice this, if I try to navigate away from the Design Studio, I get this message. Are you sure you want to leave this page? If you leave the Design Studio without saving, you will lose your work. Well, we don't want to do that, so we're really encouraging your end users to save their content, because we are creating what we call a shopping cart abandoned. Now that means if somebody leaves, but they save their content, you will trap the data, meaning you'll have the opportunity to follow up with them or treat it as a lead. So, every e-commerce, site, every e-tailer is constantly focused on conversion, increasing their conversion, people that go to their website versus how many people actually commit to an order. And typically, conversion is relatively low for most websites. But if you can increase that as a result of trapping leads and data, you're going to be more successful. Now, the way we're going to get people to commit their information is by letting them interactively design, but giving them the opportunity to save their content. So if somebody spent a few minutes in here designing, they might want to save it because they have to get mom's debit card when she gets home. But if they have the opportunity to save it, but they forget later to come back and make the purchase, you can send them a reminder, maybe send them a discount code to complete their transaction. Now this design we're generating is vector. And when the client actually purchases it, you're going to get this file in vector. And the system will charge based on how many colors that are in the design, provided it matches your screen print rules. And I'll share more of that with you as we progress. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and kind of complete this natural process here. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the cart. And again, save your design template as, and we'll put Arizona High School. Save your design template, and it's going to save it. And now we can progress right to the shopping cart to now check out and complete our purchase and our process. Now, everything you would expect from a e-commerce shopping cart is available here in InkSoft. So the ability to do things like add notes, do a gift message, purchase gift certificates, electronic gift certificates. You can establish quantity discounts. You can do unlimited promotional codes. We're integrated with FedEx, UPS, so managing all your shipping. Player names and numbers. I mean, how common is this as a print process for you in your business for doing athletic and team sports? So you have the ability to take $8 extra per product by allowing people to enter in their names and numbers. And of course, you can control this pricing. You could turn this off based on what products you're selling. So if I'm selling a sign or a mouse pad, this is probably not going to be an appropriate function. So the point is, InkSoft is very dynamic in terms of features that you can turn on and off and the ability to customize. Again, warning, if you do not sign in or create a new account, you'll lose your artwork. So the client has the ability to sign in, or they can click create new account, where they can create an account. So pretty slick function to again trap leads and trap data. Now I can go ahead and check out, complete this transaction, and we're good to go. In fact, let's go ahead and check out now. And I'm going to enter, actually I meant to enter let's go ahead and enter a discount code here. And I believe I set up a 100% off discount code called Get Paid. And that's going to go ahead and zero out this shopping cart. So there we are. Maybe it expired. I guess it expired. But we'll just check out with a purchase order here. You can allow your clients to check out with a PO, and that's something you can turn on and off. So we'll go ahead and check out now with a purchase order. I want to show you what this looks like in terms of the artwork that's now delivered to us in the InkSoft backend. Okay, great. We just completed a purchase here. Thank you for your order. Your order number is view receipt. Of course, the client can now click to view the receipt. They can print off their receipt from their transaction. So we can go to preview here, and this is what the client would print off and keep for their records. So that is the workflow from sort of the inception of somebody getting to your website to somebody completing a transaction. Now, before we jump into the back end, I want to point out a few things. And this is actually a new feature, but you now have the ability to add custom pages. So if you want to add a portfolio, maybe you want to add a blog, you have the ability to embed a blog, or you have the ability to add content. This is tremendously important for search engine optimization. The search engines love content, and the more content you have, the more relevant content you have, the better. So you can create custom pages like blog or gallery or portfolio or ideas or whatever it may be. Those are functions that you have the ability to create. All right, now before we move into the back end, I keep saying this, but I want to share the most important thing that you will learn today from joining us, which is the ability to create web stores, campus stores, or spirit stores for your clients or for your selling opportunities. Now, the power of InkSoft duplicated is tremendously valuable, right? That's precisely what is available to you with these campus or web stores that you can create. So here's the real selling strategy. Going into your backyard, going to every one of your existing clients, going to every prospect that you want to win accounts from, and offering them their own dedicated campus or web store. You can decorate it, merchandise it, and prepare it based on their needs. So if it's a racing team, if it's a paintball facility, whatever it may be, they can have their very own apparel shop where they can promote and sell, and they can get a revenue share. So when you set up one of these stores, you have the ability to enter in a store commission or a salesperson commission as well. And effectively, for every order generated, you can pay your high school accounts a commission. And that's a really great way to tether them and to create a marriage. If I'm giving an organization a free website and I'm giving them a revenue share or a check at the end of every month, that's a pretty big value proposition that's not so easily duplicated by your competitors. So we think this is a tremendous way to grow your business by using the power of the internet, using the power of a website, using the power of e-commerce, search engine optimization, but duplicating that over and over and over again. Now, I'm going to point out some functions here that I think are really important for imprinters, and this will give you a sense of what has been made available in InkSoft. So I'm going to click on this Viking design here, and when I uploaded this into this store, I made this a left chest design. So if I go ahead and click on a t-shirt, and I click on, say, 100% long sleeve cotton tee, notice how it puts that design left chest automatically. It sizes it perfectly how I intended it, and that's all the client can do is now choose the color of the product they want. So maybe they want this graphic on a black garment or a white garment. So what you can do is you can turn off the design studio if you wanted to. You can lock graphics so they can't be edited, so you can control, this is a 2-color job. I have plastisol transfers ready to heat press. You can really control the workflow here. And giving you one more sense of how you can control this, you can actually sell pre-decorated product. So let's say you want to remove the ability for your clients to customize entirely. You just want to sell online. Well, check this out. You have the opportunity now to sell products that are pre-decorated. All they can do is add this to the cart, check out, and go. So you can really control colors, placement, position. You have it all dialed in. And there's really two types of consumers, those that want to personalize and those that want to just check out and buy. Alumni, I want to buy a hooded sweatshirt because I graduated from St. Joseph's Catholic High School, in 2000 or 1998. I want to show school pride because I'm cutting a check, to the school every year. I can then buy just a hooded sweatshirt. So I'm not maybe invested or I'm not involved in the design process whatsoever. So just pointing out the scalability and flexibility now of InkSoft. Now you'll notice it's time to kind of transition to part 2, which is the InkSoft backend. And I promise you I'm going to take your questions at the end of this presentation. The second part is much quicker than the first. So if you'll notice at the very, very top left, there's an option that says sign in. So no matter what web store I navigate to, I have the ability to sign in. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And of course, your clients could either sign in or create their free account from this workflow as well. So now that I've signed in, it says welcome JP, sign out, my account, config, orders, and reports. So if I click on config, which is short for configuration, this is where I'll manage my web business. And because we've navigated to this particular store, you can see I'm going to get the controls to now edit my store. So doing things like merchandising, setting up products, setting up banner advertisements and linking my social networks in, styling, choosing what theme, what I want to represent my website. I'm going to use these controls in this particular area here. So you'll notice to the left there's a global settings tab. And this is how you manage things on as the name implies, a global basis. So if I want to do something like print pricing, if I want to set up my screen print pricing versus digital print pricing, this is the area that I'm going to use to then do that or command these particular functions. So you have all the controls you would ever need for either entering in a new product, establishing new product categories. All of the tools are easily located in this particular area here. So setting up promotional discount programs, setting up your payment gateways and processors, all of those controls are here. Now, you'll notice here, customer stores. These are all of the stores that I have generated or I have, created. So I can navigate to a specific store. I can create a new store. I can look at my store list and delete particular options. So this is kind of a quick summary of the InkSoft backend. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. It's uncomplicated. So this is how I'd manage my business. Now at the very top, you'll see orders. And this is where I have the opportunity to manage, as the name implies, any orders from a particular website. So all the orders come to one central place. And what I can do is use these functions and these controls to approve an order. I have the ability to order products, receive the product, print the product, and then ship it. So InkSoft manages the whole workflow from inception to shipping. And of course, reports are important because this is your opportunity to generate a store commission report, to generate a salesperson commission report, look at all the metrics like the web activity, how many people are going to your website on a given day, etc. Alrighty, at this stage, I want to take your questions. I wanted to leave a lot of time for your questions. So what I'm going to have you do is use the Q&A function on your dashboard for the webinar software and ask any questions that you may have.